How did one of the best duos in EU go from having 18 points in 3 matches to somehow qualifying for the FNCS finals? What's up, Fortnite fam? Let's talk about the most volatile team in EU, the one and only Malabuka and Mustache. Sadly, Qualifier 1 of this season's FNCS had a start that no top team wants. Game 1 starts with Mustache going down to a third party whilst fighting against Pablo and Swag in their drop spot of choice, Loot Lake. Despite Malabuka getting the reboot off, a few max distance zones and late rotates left them the focus of the entire lobby. In Game 2, they left an opening while trying to take a mid-game fight and were snuck up on by Carmi and Vanyak. And in Game 3, they landed to the south of Loot Lake to get the jump on Pablo and Swag, who got the better of them in Game 1, but unfortunately, Malabuka decides to go for a leisurely swim, and the duo ends up getting sent back to the lobby. It's safe to say that halfway through the tournament, they were on 18 points, and since the top 5 teams qualified to the FNCS finals, it wasn't looking good. Now, if it was any other team, I might have counted them out. However, in the last season's Qualifier 1, but every match they won off spawn, they also won the entire game, picking up 3 of 6 victory royales.
Malabuka and Mustache jumped from the battle bus in Game 4, and this time their drops were perfect, grabbing the weapons before Swag and Pablo could react, and Mali brings it around. The loot of this drop spot isn't what these two teams are fighting over, however. It's the grapple gloves to the south, which Malabuka and Mustache can finally claim. The early game has been won, but that means the mid game is just beginning, and this is often where the less experienced teams make crucial mistakes. It's relatively difficult to find big shield potions or chug splashes after you've left your drop spot, so notice how in the mid game Malabuka and Mustache stay around 50 shield, not using any of those chug splashes and just using their minis when they take damage. Now this rotate certainly drained their supply of minis, however they have a great understanding of the map and rotate past a mending machine for additional shields and a medkit for Mustache. Many players would have wasted their chug splashes on those rotate, but with some good map knowledge, Malabuka and Mustache end up saving these for later in the game. Regardless of how well you plan it, rotating in the mid game can be expensive on your heals and materials, so Malabuka and Mustache opt to take a quick fight in the 4th or 5th zone to claim those materials and heals from the inventory of the players around them. Unfortunately, in this game, the unlucky victims were Mr. Savage and Hen. Now they get completely capped materials and heals from this fight and are ready for the endgame. These decisions to take engagements at this point in the game isn't something that players of every skill level can do, but it's something that the most elite teams in the world do to ensure they have enough materials for the start of the moving zones. However, even if you're Malabuka and Mustache, this is still a dangerous play. Remember, this play exactly was the cause for them being eliminated in Game 2 to Vanyak and Carmi. It just goes to show that there really is no reward without a risk.
Once the end game begins and the zones start moving, every play they make a result of getting the mid-game materials refreshed and winning the off-spawn fight to claim the grapple gloves. Typically, low ground is the layer where all of the players who have minimal materials and HP left will drop to try to hide, and Malabuka and Mustache take full advantage of this. Since they have so many materials remaining, they grapple glove to the front side of the zone and create a massive tarp to ensure that if any of these weak players hide on low ground, the walls that they hide on will be owned by them. This principle, along with some great awareness, is how they continue to rack up a total of 13 eliminations. Now, most teams don't win games from low ground, but if there's anything we've learned at this point, it's that Malabuka and Mustache aren't most teams.
To high ground versus low ground. The battle has to begin here as now Malabuka takes down the first one, putting him in the advantageous position, the 2 versus 1, but Vortex does have the elevation, has the positional advantage. It's the player advantage versus the positional advantage. Which one is going to come out on top as Vortex uses the zip line? Now Malabuka takes the high ground and ultimately they secure the victory royale. Mustache with 9 eliminations, Malabuka with 6 eliminations. We might have just seen the highest elim match today.
Not only did they manage to win Game 4 with 15 eliminations, they got the back-to-back win in Game 5 and almost clutched 3 victory royales by placing second in the final game. This incredible comeback secured their spot in the FNCS finals. Mustache and Malabuka proved that there's always a chance for a comeback, be it in an arena game, Cash Cup, or even the next 2 FNCS qualifiers. Until next time, we'll see you on the battle bus. Beep, beep!